Despite Chapter 5 Season 1 just becoming a month old, Season 2's already been fully leaked. From the theme being confirmed by all Battle Pass skins being leaked to map changes upcoming, and because of that what's happening in the next cinematic trailer, stick around until the end, you won't want to miss all of that and more today. Stop, don't forget before you pick up the Battle Pass or anything from the shop, you enter code FM1 inside here, as it looks completely different now, but it definitely still works, being one of the shortest and easiest codes to enter out there. It would mean the world to me and my dog Charlie the charcoal pug, and I'm going to have to purchase another big cutout now, considering, yeah, it looks different in the item shop. Last video I wanted to know the name of this, so here's a bunch of hearted comments on screen right now that got that right. Today, however, I want to know the name of this, so let me know down below in the comments, and if it gets hearted, it could be shown on screen in the next video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, as after all, it only benefits you, with us gifting different subscribers every single day, with some proof of that recently on screen right now. Diving straight into it all, the first and most important thing to know is we're only a third or just over away of Chapter 5 Season 1 being fully complete. There's literally 2 months left to go, as you can see from the Battle Pass tab. March 8th is when this season ends, meaning after downtime occurs after that and an update commences, we'll be seeing Chapter 5 Season 2 even the same day. Right now, the start of January, we're in a strange period. Winterfest has ended, nothing's going on with Fortnite, considering Epic Games get back in office January 7th, or tomorrow when I'm actually recording this video, alongside the next update being scheduled for the 23rd of January, even after their return, which is 28.10. We have 2 more updates after that to contend with, being 28.20 and 28.30. Just for those that don't know, the reason the updates are labelled as such, like 28.0 or 29.0 being Chapter 5 Season 2, is because it represents what number of season it is in Fortnite, being the 29th we're about to go into Chapter 5 Season 2. And with that said, considering it's literally just been over a month since we got introduced to the Chapter 5 island, believe it or not, Season 2's been teased since day 1 of us entering onto this new Battle Royale island. Initially, upon dropping in, we thought it largely resembled a lot of countries in Europe, specifically Greece, in the middle at ruined reels, despite it obviously being a giant screen that we could potentially watch something on eventually. Of course, the architecture directly correlates to what we would see in ancient Greece, alongside the statues or the types of sculpture we see, with Greek mythology playing a large part of the codenames for the chapter islands in themselves. For instance, Athena being Chapter 1, Apollo Chapter 2, Artemis Chapter 3, and Asteria Chapter 4, alongside Helios being Chapter 5. We've got more to mention on the Chapter 5 codename in just a second, but as you can imagine, all of these correlate to Greek mythology, as well as the codename overall for just the next season within Chapter 5. Hypex pointed out Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2 is speculated to be Greek mythology themed because of these hints, and as you can see, the first one on the list is next season codename Aega, which means goat in Greek. Who knows, maybe this means we're going to be seeing a goated season, although Chapter 5 Season 1 so far seems pretty fun, with that hopefully meaning we find the goat being PEELY, which is ultimately the storyline now, which we've got to move on to in just a second. Just before we do though, under the codename Aega, which represents Chapter 5 Season 2 in the files, currently the codenames include 5 different work in progress bosses according to Enso and their spawn locations. There are also 3 spawn locations for the new NPCs codenamed Aega Z and Aega C, specifically Z representing what we believe to be Zeus, based off of these spawn effects of lightning for the Aega NPC, obviously because Zeus is the god of thunder or the god of gods on Mount Olympus in Greek mythology. On top of the fact, in case you were wondering what the Aega C or C represents after that codename, it's believed to be Cerberus, being this wolf character apparently off the Fortnite surveys, which is the highest voted or most wanted off of there that's currently unreleased, which, believe it or not, is just one of many potential upcoming Battle Pass skins fitting this Greek mythology theme for next season, Chapter 5 Season 2, and as you can see, there's a total of 16 off of the Fortnite surveys currently unreleased on screen right now, with the different like code names attached to Greek mythology obviously underneath them. Considering each Battle Pass only has 8 skins, however, between level 1 and 100, including also the secret or unlockable skin like Solid Snake this season, we can't expect all 16 to be included next season. What we can expect, however, is the ones that aren't released in the Battle Pass to be rotated throughout the item shop actually implemented, because there'd be no more other fitting time to add them into the game than literally in that specific Greek themed season. Even with us already knowing this, it's safe to say next season's going to be a banger, as the second season of a chapter usually always is, such as Chapter 2 Season 2, Chapter 3 Season 2, and even Chapter 4 Season 2. Speaking of Chapter 2 Season 2, this was another point where Greek mythology came into play. Epic Games just haven't started down this route now in terms of adding things into the game or basing their inspiration off of it. It also looks like this Greek mythology character could be returning, being a Fortnite fan favourite skin that many people won't know the backstory on, Midas. Midas, for those that don't know, in Greek mythology was a famous king popularly remembered for his ability to turn everything he touched into gold, which he has the same effect in Fortnite when picking up weapons and such. Literally the only skin in game having the ability to do this, changing the physical wrap of the weapon, engulfing it in gold due to the Midas touch and the Greek mythology there being applied to the character in game, although him not looking the same. A more accurate representation of Midas in Greek mythology would be Oro, which people believe based off of the face markings and because of the fact he's entirely covered in gold, which is what happened to Midas in Greek mythology. He got entirely consumed, as supposedly he died from not being able to eat, considering everything he literally touched, whether it was from his finger or even hitting his mouth, turned into gold, therefore starving. Why the talk of Midas, you may ask, considering so many times in Fortnite he's either returned or there's been talks of him returning. It looks like the biggest possibility is now. Not only do we have a ton of Chapter 2 Season 2 props of Battle Pass skins or references to them on the outskirts of the island washed up right now, even a new revamped version of the agency in this photograph, but in this particular large house on the outskirts of the island nearby, we also have specifically Midas's chair, and not to mention in the seemingly gold-touched Grand Glacier Hotel, we have these identical doors to what was shown at the end of the top secret trailer in Midas's meeting room. We did see him get eaten in Chapter 2 Season 3, but Donald Mustard ex-CCO confirmed that this was the version of him in the loop itself. This means other snapshots of him can return, hence why we have different similar variants or revamps of different skins as there are snapshots. So with all of that said, not only could Midas be returning, being a fan favourite or somebody everybody loves from Fortnite's history, but potentially a lot of things we loved about Chapter 2 Season 2 as well. After all, the last true unique season of Chapter 4 being Chapter 4 Season 4 before Chapter 4 Season OG, this was heist themed and Epic Games probably wanted to reminisce to these times, considering it was one of the most popular times to be a player of Fortnite. Speaking of something popular in Fortnite, everybody has grown to love one character particularly that's always been integrated somehow in the lore, whether big or small, being PEELY. So many times we've seen this banana meet different fates, some unfortunate, some great. Even technically his origin story of him initially being the Jonesy the First skin holding a banana, then morphing from touching a rift into this 6-foot banana himself. Anyways, this season there seems to be a bigger pressing issue afoot, as ultimately the storyline set out for Chapter 5, despite us not knowing what went on with Jones particularly and Sloan from Season OG in their mission to activate the time machine, Jones in this underground form seems to be angry about the fact that a different faction called the Society have got his banana. For those that missed this detail, this giant Nana sticker is obviously what's on PEELY, so I'm guessing they've taken it and not been kind in the kidnapping process, the Society faction. The other faction being called the Underground with their own logo, of course, are trying desperately now to get PEELY back. As we know from the Champion Oscar loading screen, it seems Underground Jones is trying to negotiate with Oscar over the phone for exactly this 6-foot banana that we can see in the background tied up to a chair held hostage. And taking a closer look at this loading screen and heading over to Lavish Lair, where Oscar is actually manning or occupying as a mythic boss in game. From searching this entire named location and the rooms within all of the buildings, particularly this one seems to match up what they were kind of getting at where he was held hostage in this loading screen, but obviously in like a cartoon or comic book like format or style. Sadly right now PEELY is nowhere to be seen in here, however there are clues around the map to other whereabouts, such as this small banana on a chair, which also could have been where they kept him hostage or tied to. It's only a matter of time before another update occurs now, updating us on the lore or development of finding what's currently known as missing PEELY, and in turn hopefully this part of the storyline is concluded and we get the 6-foot banana back in the Chapter 5 Season 2 cinematic or story trailer. As for why this is currently going on, for those that don't know, there's a conflict established between two different teams, or should I say factions, now that we have been the Society and Underground, every single chapter to create suspense or develop a conflict until the end of said chapter at the end of every year, where inevitably because of this everything gets too chaotic and results in an event occurring, then transition us to a new Battle Royale island and then the cycle repeating again. And considering we have Solid Snake this season as the collab skin, meaning it doesn't look like all 8 outfits are going to be off of these different Greek mythology ones off the Fortnite surveys, I've exposed if Fortnite X Avatar and Devil May Cry collabs are rumoured to be coming, and that this was leaked by the person who previously leaked the TMNT and Doomslayer collabs, so maybe one of these two that we don't currently know for sure is contained or integrated throughout the next Battle Pass for Chapter 5 Season 2. Drop a like if you're hyped for the return of PEELY and him being saved in the next trailer, and subscribe with all notifications turned on so you don't miss any future uploads. Don't forget to enter code FM1 now before you pick anything else up inside the item shop, but speaking of where you go to, click either of these two videos YouTube's recommended you whilst you wait for the very next one I do publish on the channel.